We've been taught that the universe runs on strict, unbreakable laws. Gravity pulls, time moves forward, and physics keeps everything in check. But what if reality isn't as predictable as we think? What if certain phenomena outright mock the very rules we rely on? From objects that seem to float without reason to bizarre cosmic glitches that scientists still can't explain, some things just refuse to play by the book. Get ready, because we're about to dive into the 15 most mind-bending phenomena that don't just challenge physics, they straight up defy it. Let's start off with number 15, blow your own sail. Newton's third law tells us that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So, logically, blowing air onto a sail from the same boat should cancel itself out. In theory, you'd just be pushing against your own force, getting nowhere. But reality has a way of surprising us. Experiments, including one conducted by Mythbusters, suggest that under the right conditions, this impossible feat can actually work. By using a powerful fan or engine, the airflow over the sail creates pressure differentials that generate forward motion. The key here isn't breaking Newton's laws, it's cleverly manipulating aerodynamics and external forces to create unexpected results. This experiment reminds us that physics isn't always as rigid as it seems. With the right engineering and enough force, even the most counterintuitive ideas can turn into reality. So while you probably won't be sailing the seas with just a desk fan anytime soon, this paradox proves that sometimes thinking outside the box means rewriting what we thought was impossible. Number 14, Magnetic Hill, India. Normally, if you park a car on a hill and put it in neutral, it rolls down. Simple, right? Well, not at Magnetic Hill in Ladakh, India. Here, vehicles left in neutral appear to roll uphill, sometimes reaching speeds of 20 kilometers per hour, defying everything we know about gravity. At first glance, it looks like the laws of physics have taken the day off. But the real culprit? A brilliantly deceptive optical illusion. The surrounding landscape creates a false horizon, making the road look like it's sloping upwards when, in reality, it's gently sloping down. Your brain, trusting what it sees, gets completely fooled. Despite the scientific explanation, standing there and watching a car roll against gravity is an eerie experience. It's a reminder that our perception of the world isn't always accurate. So the next time you think you understand reality, just remember, sometimes even gravity knows how to mess with your head. And there is also a place in KSA where you can witness this freaky phenomenon. Number 13, the Oregon Vortex. Welcome to the Oregon Vortex, a place where gravity, perspective, and logic all seem to take a vacation. Located in Gold Hill, Oregon, this strange site is famous for its reality warping effects. Objects roll uphill, people appear to change height, and balance feels off. The most famous part of the vortex is the gravity hill, where cars, balls, and even water seem to flow upward. But before you call it a glitch in the matrix, science has an answer. The area's unusual sloped terrain and tilted buildings create a perfect optical illusion. Your brain, relying on misleading visual cues, gets completely tricked into thinking physics is broken when it's actually just a matter of perspective. Of course, that hasn't stopped paranormal enthusiasts from claiming the site is a hotspot for supernatural forces. Whether you see it as a clever trick of the eye or proof of something more mysterious, one thing is 100% certain. The Oregon Vortex is a place that will leave you questioning reality itself. We mean, just imagine it. It's out of the world. Number 12, the Crooked Forest. Trees are supposed to grow straight up, reaching toward the sky. But in the Crooked Forest near Gryfino, Poland, nature seems to have other plans. Here, around 400 pine trees grow with a bizarre 90-degree bend at their base before curving back upward. The result? A hauntingly beautiful forest that looks like something out of a fairy tale or an alien experiment. So what's going on? Gravity anomaly? Mutation? A glitch in the simulation? The most logical explanation suggests human intervention. Some believe that local farmers in the 1930s intentionally manipulated the young trees for curved timber, possibly for shipbuilding or furniture. But with no records or first-hand accounts, the true reason remains lost to time. Despite decades of speculation, no theory fully explains why or how these trees grew this way. The crooked forest isn't just a botanical oddity, it's a living mystery that challenges our understanding of both nature and history. Number 11. Heron's Fountain. Imagine a fountain that seems to power itself, endlessly recycling water with no external energy source. Sounds like a violation of physics, right? Well, in the 1st century AD, a Greek engineer named Hero of Alexandria designed exactly that, a self-flowing fountain that appeared to run forever. Of course, it's not actually a perpetual motion machine. Physics doesn't allow for free energy. Instead, Heron's fountain cleverly uses air pressure and gravity to push water upward in a continuous loop. The system works by channeling water between chambers, using trapped air pressure to drive the fountain. It's a perfect example of how ancient engineers understood fluid mechanics long before modern science explained it. While the fountain does eventually run out of water, its design is still brilliant. Even today, engineers study Heron's work, proving that some of the greatest feats of physics were discovered centuries before we even had the words to describe them. Number 10. Quantum entanglement. All right, this one will make your brain hurt, in the best way. Quantum entanglement is like the ultimate cheat code in physics. It's the bizarre property where two particles, once connected, remain mysteriously linked no matter how far apart they are. And when I say far, I don't mean just across the room. I'm talking light years apart. Yet, the moment you measure one, the other reacts instantly. Einstein himself called this spooky action at a distance. Because, well, it shouldn't be possible. Nothing is supposed to travel faster than light, yet entangled particles seem to communicate in real time. Scientists have tested this again and again, ruling out all logical explanations, hidden variables, experimental flaws, you name it. But the weirdness remains. If that wasn't freaky enough, quantum entanglement isn't just a cool theory. It's being used in real-world applications like quantum computing and ultra-secure encryption. So while we still don't know why it happens, one thing's clear. Physics has some secrets it's not ready to spill. Number 9. Starlight. Plastic melts under heat. That's just science. Or at least it was, until Maurice Ward came along. In the 1990s, this British hairdresser-turned-inventor unveiled a material called starlight, which shattered everything we thought we knew about heat resistance. During a BBC demonstration, Ward coated an egg with starlight and blasted it with a blowtorch. Logic would say the egg should have turned into breakfast. Instead, it sat there, completely unfazed. Its shell wasn't even warm. Scientists, engineers, and defense specialists scrambled to understand how it worked. Could it revolutionize space travel, fireproof buildings, high-temperature industries? Here's the twist. Ward never patented starlight, fearing corporate exploitation. When he passed away, the secret seemingly went with him. Today, starlight remains an enigma. Was it an overlooked scientific breakthrough or a lost miracle material? Until someone cracks the code, it stands as one of the most baffling mysteries in modern physics. Well, you can try to break it. Number 8. The gravity-defying ibex. If Spider-Man were an animal, he'd be an ibex. These wild goats, found in the rugged mountain ranges of Europe, can climb sheer rock walls that would send most creatures tumbling to their doom. Their ability to scale vertical surfaces isn't just impressive, it looks downright impossible. But there's no magic here, just incredible evolution at work. The secret lies in their specialized hooves. The outer edges are hard and sharp, helping them grip tiny cracks, while the inner part is soft and rubber-like, providing friction even on the smoothest surfaces. Combined with powerful, precise leg movements, ibexes can balance on footholds smaller than a coin. And the reason they take such risks? Salt. Minerals found in cliffside rocks are vital for their survival, pushing them to scale near vertical walls with fearless determination. The ibex proves that nature isn't just about following the rules of physics, it's about mastering them in ways that leave us in awe. Number 7. The Golden Rock of Myanmar. Perched on the edge of a cliff in Myanmar's Mon State, the Golden Rock looks like a boulder that should have tumbled to its doom centuries ago. But somehow it stays put, balanced so delicately that it seems to defy gravity itself. Covered in gold leaf and revered as a sacred Buddhist site, this rock isn't just a religious symbol. It's a physics mystery. Legend has it that the rock is held in place by a single strand of Buddha's hair, preventing it from ever falling. But scientists have other theories. Some suggest that its center of mass is perfectly aligned to keep it stable, while others believe it's subtly fused to the rock below. Yet, no conclusive evidence exists to explain why it hasn't budged. Whether divine intervention or an extraordinary natural phenomenon, the Golden Rock remains a wonder that both scientists and spiritual seekers continue to marvel at. Whatever the truth is, gravity seems to be looking the other way. Number 6. Magic mirrors. Imagine looking into a bronze mirror only to see an image magically projected onto a nearby surface. No, it's not a trick. It's an ancient technology that still baffles scientists today. Known as magic mirrors, these artifacts, dating back to China and Japan over 2,000 years ago, are designed to reflect hidden images when exposed to bright light. What's truly strange is that the designs aren't visible on the mirror's surface. Researchers believe that craftsmen unknowingly shaped the bronze so precisely that microscopic variations in thickness create the illusion. When light reflects off these hidden patterns, they become visible on a wall, almost like a primitive hologram. What makes these mirrors so fascinating isn't just their eerie effect, it's the fact that ancient artisans achieved this level of precision without modern tools. Their craftsmanship proves that ancient civilizations understood the principles of optics in ways we still struggle to fully explain. Number 5. The Stone of Tandil. For centuries, Argentina's Stone of Tandil seemed to break the fundamental rule of gravity. It balanced precariously on a hill, looking like the slightest breeze could send it crashing down. Yet, despite storms, earthquakes, and time itself, it remained perfectly in place. That is, until 1912, when gravity finally claimed its long-overdue victory, and the rock came tumbling down. What made it so special? For generations, visitors would place bottles underneath it, observing tiny movements that hinted at its delicate balance. Some believed unseen forces held it in place, while others suspected a geological quirk. But when it finally fell, there was no dramatic force, just time finally winning the battle. Rather than letting the legend die, the town of Tandil built a replica in its place, ensuring that its most famous attraction lived on. The Stone of Tandil reminds us that gravity always wins in the end, but sometimes nature holds it off just long enough to make us believe in miracles. Number 4. Super hydrophobic coating. Water is supposed to make things wet. That's just basic physics. But super hydrophobic coatings turn that rule upside down, creating surfaces that seem completely immune to moisture. Water doesn't just roll off, it bounces, forming perfect droplets that refuse to stick. This mind-blowing effect is achieved by engineering surfaces on a microscopic level, creating a thin layer of trapped air that prevents water from making contact. The result? Liquids bead up and slide away as if the material were rejecting them outright. The applications for this technology are endless. Car windshields that never need wipers, clothing that never stains, buildings that repel rain, and even medical equipment that stays completely sterile. Scientists are even exploring how to use these coatings to make ice-resistant airplane wings. It doesn't break the laws of physics, but it pushes them to their absolute limits. And in a world where water is usually unavoidable, this technology is a game changer. Number 3. Upside-down waterfalls. Water falls down. That's just how gravity works, until it doesn't. Enter the mysterious phenomenon of upside-down waterfalls, where water appears to defy physics by flowing upward. You'll find these bizarre spectacles in places like India, Iceland, and Hawaii. But before you start questioning reality, let's clear something up. Gravity isn't broken. Instead, powerful winds collide with falling water, forcing it to spray upward in a misty illusion. From a distance, it looks like nature glitched, reversing the flow of water entirely. While we can explain how it works, it still challenges our expectations. Water is supposed to obey gravity, yet here, another force manages to override it. It's a perfect example of how the natural world isn't just bound by simple rules. It's a delicate, ever-changing balance of forces that can surprise us at every turn. Number 2. Water and sound. We don't usually think of sound as something that can physically move objects, but under the right conditions, sound waves can control water in ways that look like straight-up magic. At certain frequencies, sound can manipulate water into spirals, waves, and even frozen-looking shapes. The craziest example? The 24 Hz experiment. If you pump sound waves at this exact frequency through a stream of water and record it with a 24 frames per second camera, the water appears to stand still or even move backward. It's all about synchronization between sound, motion, and human perception. This mind-bending trick isn't just a party trick for YouTubers. It's a real-world demonstration of how waves, whether in air, water, or light, interact in ways that challenge our perception of reality. So the next time you see water behaving strangely, remember, sometimes physics is just showing off. All right, now, let's head over to Number 1. Gallium. Most metals are stubborn. They need extreme heat to melt. Then there's gallium, a metal so unmetal-like that it melts just from the warmth of your hand. Gallium is solid at room temperature, but the moment it reaches 85 degrees Fahrenheit, it turns into a silvery liquid puddle. This weirdness makes it a favorite among scientists and engineers. It's used in electronics, solar panels, and even medical treatments. Unlike mercury, gallium is non-toxic, which means you can handle it safely without worrying about poisoning yourself. Beyond its practical applications, gallium is a reminder that even the periodic table has its rebels. While iron, copper, and gold play by the rules, gallium shrugs and says, "Nah, I do my own thing." If nothing else, it's proof that science still has plenty of surprises waiting to be uncovered. If you have enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you very soon in the next one.